Hi, everybody, welcome back to Ox Talks. It's Sunday, April 21st, here with JB. I think I mentioned yesterday on the video that we're going to try to get up here, do some shooting today, wind permitting. It's been actually really nice up here for this time of year. Now we get, 15, 20 mile an hour winds. So we're taking the opportunity. Ryan's up here with us, Sid's up here with us, so we're trying to get some training in. We had some, I will say this, we all run good gear. We had some issues today. And the point that we all need to understand is, we're up here for a reason. Yes, become more proficient, but also it's a gear check. It's to make sure that your stuff is working. You're zeroed in. What did you experience today, JB?
Bad mag. That's about it. But that's a big deal. If I'm carrying that mag daily and it's not optimized to 100%, it could be a problem. So toss that one and replace it with a good one. So if I wasn't here today, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I had an issue with the zero on my EOTech, which normally those things are spot on. I don't know if I adjusted on the rail last time I was here or something, but it was off substantially. I had to spend some time getting that zeroed back in. But anyway, we're thankful to be here today. We're the only people here on the range on Sunday, putting in some time, rolling around, getting dirty, trying to, practice what we preach and talk about on this channel every day, on JB's channel. So we're here and we're trying to get it done. What do you see in the coming week? I want to ask you what your take is on the fact that the House has now, as of yesterday, passed $95 billion more in foreign
aid. We might as well say
$100
billion, okay, and even it off.
Let's top it off.
Absolutely repulsive. Sid and I were just in San Bernardino and Riverside County. I've never seen so many homeless people. I've never seen so many tents along the side of the freeways. I've never seen so many abandoned animals, homeless animals. There are so many stores closing, so many restaurants closing. Small businesses are suffering, and yet we're going to throw another $100 billion at this. And look, I'm not going to sit here and get political. I'm not political. Whether you're right or left or in the middle, who and how is going to pay for this?
Well, we can't take care of our vets. We have, tens of thousands of people flooding in over the border that are, also taking up resources that we can't house, we can't feed. Our system can't seem to maintain. Crime is rising, yet we have a way to click the printing press and ship $100 billion more overseas.
As a bankrupt nation. So
right.
How in the world do you do this? How do you lend money? Like if I wanted to lend money to somebody and was bankrupt and didn't have any money, but yet I'm lending them money. So the money's coming from somewhere. It's either being printed or it's being borrowed, and it's being taxed. And you're all going to be on the hook for this. And what do we all get back for this? That's the question we all have to be asking. How does this all end, and what do we get in return for all this? Russia's making more money than ever. They're getting more powerful than ever. China's getting more powerful than ever. And things are escalating in the Middle East on top of it. We send $8 billion to Taiwan on top of this,
right.
26 billion to Israel.
Nothing for the border.
And nothing here to help small business, nothing here to help our infrastructure, nothing here to close up the issue that we have at the southern border. This is a complete disaster. It's like all this money, but you and I aren't getting anything. We're getting absolutely nothing except a bill.
Well, no, we're paying more everywhere.
Yeah.
Have you
seen the bill? We're getting billed.
Yep. We're paying more for everything: insurance, gasoline, mortgages. Houses are unaffordable. We know that for most people. Very sad. Very sad.
You and I have the same CPA.
We do.
And I had to pay an astronomical amount of taxes last year. I literally almost cried. You were there.
I was there. He almost cried.
And I just sit there and go, what could I have done with this money? How I could have injected it into the economy and helped businesses. I could have went out and bought real estate. I could have supported some type of business right here that could have supported the U.S. economy. But instead, most of that money, I know where it's going. It's going overseas. And we don't even have the option to pick where our tax money's going. It's bad enough that we pay these exuberant amounts in taxes. On top of that, most of where it goes, we would oppose.
Yeah, for sure. What do you see in the coming week? Number one, we have to address metals. Futures markets are open, I think, now. I saw gold down a little bit. I wanted to ask Ryan about that too. But what do you think is going to happen? Are we topped out? Is there going to be a pullback? Obviously, we're not giving financial advice. We're a big proponent of holding physical metals. What do you think?
We're one rocket away from it taking another leg up.
Yeah, that's true.
We're one refinery away from a big breakout. Look, we're going to have pullbacks without a doubt, but I think we're going to go much, much higher. The lows are going to be higher lows and higher highs. And as soon as somebody drops a missile over in the Middle East or something happens in Taiwan, buckle up because we're going to go back on another ride here. So I would be really more concerned with what's going to happen to the U.S. dollar with all the inflation that they are causing now. They have let the genie out of the bottle.
Yeah, and look, the U.S. dollar, the Dixie, the index has been strong, but it's got to be like a blow off top, where you always see a meteoric rise before it just has a huge fall.
But you're comparing it to a bunch of other sick kids
Yes.
In the hospital. You know as well as I do. You go to the grocery store this week, you're buying less. When we ate over the last week, when we were out in San Bernardino, I couldn't believe the cost of food. McDonald's coffee, which I used to drink a couple times a week. Now, because everybody got on me, I make my own coffee. But we were out, we were thirsty, we made a stop. A coffee that used to cost me $3.29 is now $4.77. So the $20 minimum wage here in California is going to do absolute devastation to businesses here.
Well, you're seeing that they're already closing down.
Right. And
I took my mom out last night to dinner, and my brother's wife was in town, and my wife and I. It was a Mexican restaurant. The bill with tip was $222. Yeah. I had one drink. Nobody else drank. They had water or soda. And I mean, I don't know how families can literally afford to do it.
Right.
And this is not for some high flying steakhouse. This was just for just beans and rice and burritos and good food. But $220.
I've been saying since 2023, I don't see a rate cut for this year. I just couldn't see how they could do it. The writing was on the wall that inflation was going to continue to increase, not go away. And here we are now. They're saying maybe September. Now we're on September. I don't even see that happening. So, and I don't see the point of even one rate cut now at this point. Why would they even bother? So I would say if people think that that's going to save the economy, if that's going to save the housing market, it doesn't even matter at this point. It's over. But I just don't see a rate cut.
Well, look what's happening with the stock market, guys. The last basically a week, it's had successive days of substantial sell-offs, and maybe the markets are starting to get the fact that there may not be, like you're saying, any cuts at all this year.
They have been so reluctant, the markets, to accept. Look, I got to call it the way I say it. Jerome Powell has been saying for literally the entire year that they're going to stay higher for longer. They're going to look at the data. Right now, they don't see a cut. And they've been saying this month after month, and the markets continue to ignore it and continue to go up on all this hope. So you can hope all you want, but at the end of the day, I think that the market's going to be in for a shock because I don't think they're going to get what they want. And even if they got one cut, even two, is that going to make a difference? You're looking at mortgage rates blowing past 7% now.
Yeah. And look, there's going to be a day of reckoning, I think. I've just addressed it several times about the stock market. And, and I have a lot of friends we have all of friends that just continue to pile money into the stock market thinking that it's going to just go one direction and that's up. Yeah. And I think, that's going to be a really brutal reality for a lot of people when that turns. I had a lot of friends that literally almost went bankrupt in the last, pullback back in 07, 08, 09 because they thought the party was never going to end.
Well, I had a lot of friends that did go bankrupt, and I remember people losing multi-million-dollar houses, losing their Bentleys, losing their lifestyles, and it literally happened overnight. It took months for it to happen, but it happened literally overnight, and the fallout was shocking. People who you thought this could never happen to, wealthy people. If the people think that this won't happen to them because they're wealthy, they are sadly mistaken. It happened last time. It happened in 1929. It happened in the early 2000s. There'll be a lot of people who are wealthy, but they're wealthy on paper. And that's the scary thing here is they're not holding real assets. What their wealth is sitting on a computer screen in digits or on paper, and they're very vulnerable here. And this is why I highly recommend that people have real physical assets. That could be land, that could be art, that could be gold, that could be silver, it could be baseball cards. But you cannot just be reliant on digits on a screen or your stock portfolio. That can be wiped out. Everything is so overvalued in the bond market, stock market, commercial real estate, a single family home real estate.
Well, no one knows where fair value is anymore,
right,
because it's been propped up
so high
on the back of this, of this money printing orgy for the last several years.
You had the Fed keep rates at nearly zero for over a decade. They were buying mortgage-backed securities. They pumped this market full of trillions of dollars. So now you have a massive bubble. So we don't know the price. That's why we need a collapse. So we get fair market value. We have valuations on these assets. And this allows middle-class and first-time buyers to actually get back into the market. If we do not have a collapse, forget it. That you're going to have a few percent and the BlackRocks and the Vanguards and the multimillionaires and billionaires at the top, and you will be renting from them forever. You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
And to that point, when this pullback does happen in housing and the market and all these asset classes, other asset classes, are you going to be in a position to be able to take advantage of it? Meaning, right. Are you working on your credit score? Are you putting aside some cash and some resources that you can take advantage of opportunities when they arise? It's going to be sad for a lot of people, but again, think about those things now, because it will happen quickly. If you're not positioned, if you are positioned, I think there'll be generational wealth to be made. So it's something you guys need to be thinking about. So have your stuff in order. Work on things we talk about all the time. Work on not just preps and fitness, but work on your balance sheet. Work on your debt. Pay down debt. Do not take on more debt, new debt, things you cannot afford. Do not live beyond your means. That's something you do talk about all the time on your channel. People in this country just don't get it. They continue to go into debt, and it's going to end badly, folks.
It's ending badly for a lot of people right now. And some people know it, some people don't know it. But I just think about how many people now are 3-4 payments behind on the car, a couple payments behind on the house, 5 credit cards. They're late on the minimums now.
Yep.
The buy now, pay laters are late on. This is all real news now. This is mainstream news.
You did a video on the repos the other day.
Yeah, I mean, there was 10,000 cars at the one Mannheim auction. 10,000 cars. They didn't even have room on their lots. They had to put them across the street at the airport. I've never seen so many cars in one place. That's how bad it is. And most of those cars, maybe not most, but I bet you at least half of those cars are repos, and that's a lot. And they're talking 25, 30,000 repos a day in this country. They got to go somewhere. They're going to the Mannheims. They're going to the auctions, and this is what we're seeing.
The air is going to start coming out of these bubbles, whatever it is. You're seeing it in cars. You're going to see it in real estate. You're going to see it in the stock market. You're already seeing it, cracks forming, I believe, in the stock market. Once this stuff starts cascading in the opposite direction, there is going to be a lot of panic. People do not understand what to do. They won't be prepared emotionally, physically, financially. So we try to warn people all the time on the channels. And anyway, I'll leave it there for today. Do you have anything else you want?
Yeah, it's going to go down much faster than it went up, and you need to be prepared for it, because you're going to wake up one day and it will have started. And most people will panic. Most people will want to play the blame game. Who did this? Why do I have no money? Why is half my wealth been destroyed by 75%, 80%? Who's responsible for this? Unfortunately, you're going to have to look in the mirror, because you are.
That's right. Guys, hope you enjoyed the content today. Glad we could to see JB.
Pleasure.
And, I just appreciate you guys subscribing, share these videos with as many people as you can. Let's continue to build this community. Appreciate JB being here. All of you have a great afternoon, and talk to you tomorrow. Bye.